I find it laughable when people make comments like this one, because I know that this is a person who's making a comment about an organization to which they know absolutely nothing about, and that they cannot possibly have ever been or are a Freemason, because otherwise they wouldn't make this comment. Also, it's very degrading that you would say that why is the black population the easiest for the satanic Freemasons to corrupt? Let's see, my guy. First of all, you have to understand that Freemasonry did not begin with Europeans in the 14, 15, 1600s. That Freemasonry actually has been around since the time of the Nubio-Kemetic people and the builders of the temples and pyramids in the Nubio-Kemetic area landscape way back in the BCE time frame. This is one way that we know this is because they have freedom of passage and travel from kingdom to kingdom without the usage of papers, and that these ways of keeping their techniques and their craftsmanship as a secret was something that they have had since a long time ago. That they understood the hermetic alchemical sciences way back long before Europeans adopted Freemasonry. When the Europeans adopted Freemasonry, they then based it on the Bible and used a lot of the biblical things that coincided with the Nubio-Kemetic in order to explain Freemasonry. You don't know this because you're not a Mason. If you also were a Mason, then you would understand that anyone who wanted to become a Mason and you worship any evil deity, whether it was Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, Molech, Agramanya, any satanic being, that you would not be allowed to become a Mason. I know what you're going to say. Well, that's just what they tell you guys on the lower end. You guys on the lower end, they tell you guys that. I'm not on the lower end, guy. And at no level to which you are forced to worship any satanic creature, satanic being, because Satanism is not allowed to become a part of Freemasonry. The main tenet of Freemasonry is making good men better. Now, does that always work? No, it doesn't. No man, no group, no organization is all good. There's always going to be someone negative, someone who does the wrong thing, someone who is living based on a culture. Yeah, Freemasons participated in transatlantic slavery. They also participated in trans-Saharan slavery. They also participated in the enslavement of the Scottish and the Irish. They participated in the slavery of the Britons. They participated in the slavery of people in India and people in Mongolia and all other places, because they lived in a culture, and what people thought was right in that culture, people abided by the rights of that culture, just like you abide by the rights of this culture today. And I'm sure that there are things that we do today that cultures in the future would say that we were barbaric in our mindset, that we were simple in our mindset, that we were inhumane in our mindset, in the same way we look back at the past and say the same things about them, because we have grown. And that is one of the premises of Freemasonry is for you to grow, for you to enlighten yourself to a higher degree where your level of morality is above that from those who you are surrounded by. You wouldn't give credit to the Freemasons who participated in the abolitionist movement, would you? Probably not, because you want to lump all Masons in the same group, just like people lump all black people in the same group. But in order to know what Masonry is, you have to be a Mason, and I doubt very seriously if you've ever been one, because I know with a statement like that, you definitely have not ever been one, and you certainly have not studied it correctly. The anti-Freemasonic party ran for president in the 1950s and 30s, and then they gave Masonry a bad name, and now you just join in on it. I do believe that the Masonic lodges did a disservice to themselves by not protecting themselves and defending themselves when the order came down, for just to let them say what they want to say and not defend it. When you don't defend yourself, then the argument of the loudest person and the lie of the loudest person becomes the truth. And that was a mistake that I believe that they made, and they should have rectified it. And there are measures being taken place now to try to rectify that mentality. But I see that you are the type person who just listen to a few people who need a scapegoat for your troubles, a scapegoat for why your life hasn't been the way that you desire for your life to be, instead of you getting up and making life be what you desire for it to be. You are the type of person that's going to allow the will of others to move your life, and your screaming and hollering statements of Freemasonry and anybody else is the reason why you give yourself a pass on actually doing something about it. If you wanted to be a force in the black community, then be a force in the black community, but don't do it by trying to trample on somebody else. Do it by being the greatest version of yourself and by creating an organization that then can help other people to become the greatest versions of themselves. Do it by building businesses in the black community, by building schools in the black community and teaching what our children really need to learn in order to succeed in life. Try doing that first. Try being a problem solver instead of looking for somebody to blame for your problems. When you do that, you become a greater person. And then when you're doing that, you're not going to care about what you believe some organization is doing, because you'll be more concerned about continuously achieving the goals that you are achieving. You'll be concerned about all the young black men that you are helping to develop, all the young black women you are helping to develop, all the safer environments and safer schools and neighborhoods that you're helping to develop, all the homeless people that you're helping to get into homes, all the single moms that you are helping to raise their children, all the single fathers you are helping to raise their children. You'll be more concerned about that. You'll be more concerned about transforming black communities away from being food deserts and having proper diets and proper health care in the black community. You'll be more concerned about that and not concerned about whether or not some group, some organization that you falsely believe is trying to harm you. Because I know that in my Masonic lodges that I've ever been a part of, we've done nothing but try to build up the communities that we serve. We've had years where scholarships went unused because people wanted to run away from being associated with Freemasonry when your kid could have had more money to go to college. It makes absolutely no sense to me. If you've never been a part of the organization, don't talk like you have been or like you know what's going on. But instead, become a force for the solution. And always remember that you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.